most people, not everybody, most people, they could spend they could work 80 hours a week at their day job, and they're never going to make $1 million, a bonus. Mm-hmm. There's, of course, rich, doctors or lawyers or whatever that can make that much. So, but I'm just talking about the average person. Yeah. And so I think people should take time to try to find a game that they work on the side that they could win in a big way. Yeah.
Welcome back. Episode 24 of How to Invest in Commercial Real Estate. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for joining us. If you haven't already, make sure to check us out on the interweb, howtoinvestinCRE.com. There's some free giveaways out there, all the videos, all the links. You can ingest us anywhere you consume media. We're there.
Oh my God. Can we just get started?
Okay. Yeah, so today is just, don't forget the game you're playing. It's a little bit more, hopefully, inspirational and a little less about, the nit and gritty of real estate. Joel, can you just start talking, please? I'm falling on my face.
So what does it mean when I ask the question, don't forget the game you're playing? For me, I went to work out of school, and you're leaving your family all day, and some people just self-identify with that career. They may be an accountant, they may be an attorney, they may be a project manager. But what if you walked into your job and the boss said, hey, really love what you're doing, but we're going to cut back. We're going to reduce your pay 50% this year.
Mm-hmm. You'd immediately start looking for another job.
Yeah, you want to quit, right?
Yeah, you want to quit.
But I thought you were an accountant. I thought this is what you love to do. Why are you going to quit the job?
Because it's really about the money. It's all about the money.
It's about the money. And I saw this, and when I worked at the engineering firm, there's so many people that, because they got that paycheck, they just forget really why they're there. And think about this. There's so many out there that do this, and I did it too, especially when I started to get a little bit of bonus, is that I would bust my butt every week. I started coming in early. I started staying late. I wanted to impress that boss. So when review time came around, I would get those marks that would get me, probably based on your review, I could maybe get $3,000 bonus or $6,000 bonus. And so, man, I'm working.
Yeah.
But the effort and the energy, and I don't want people to take this the wrong way. I want everyone to be the best employee that they can be, because it'll help them in their careers and give them opportunities. Yeah. But just think about the time you're spending and what reward is it at the end of the year at your day job. If you hit a home run at your day job, think about this if you're listening. What is it that you're going to get? Mm-hmm. If you worked weekends and nights, what is it at the end of the year? Is it a 10% raise?
Yeah, you might get a 10% raise in most industries, and that's just 1 year. The next year, they're going to say, yeah, you worked really hard, but we gave you 10% last year, so you're just going to get the average 3 or 4% this year.
And I want people to do this, but $10,000 bonus, $20,000 bonus. So at some point, don't forget that you're there to make money, but what if a side hustle, that all those nights and weekends could be spent learning a skill, building a side company, or learning how to invest in commercial real estate? Would it pay off differently?
I think what people, what we all fail to acknowledge is businesses are built to service the owners.
Yeah.
I mean, fundamental law of business. When somebody starts a business, it's meant to benefit them. Like a public company goes public because they have shareholders and they need to make them money. Apple is worth, $1 trillion because it makes money. All of these things.
Yeah, and I fully appreciated that as an employee, because for some of that time I was also a business owner on the side, but I never expected my employer to make me rich. I was never an owner. Didn't matter how many hours I put in. I was never getting a part of the profit. They paid me contractually what they told me that they were going to pay me, and I worked really hard actually, and I got paid fairly. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's not the employer's job to make me rich by my effort. They agree to pay you so much money. But the point I want to tell people is, hey, make sure you have a side hustle. Play a game that you can actually win at.
What do you mean by win?
Well, I don't know what win means to different people, but for me, I wanted at some point for it to pay off enough where I didn't have to go to the day job. Mm-hmm. That was winning for me.
Yeah. Okay, time freedom.
Time freedom. It could be other things for other people. Maybe they want to make an extra $50,000 a year so they can vacation how they want to.
Yeah, and they can do that and keep their current job just by working on it either before or after work, or maybe even at lunch or something like that.
The reason I like commercial real estate so much is that it's a game that is not easy. it can make you money, but it has a potential to hit home runs.
Yeah.
That just weren't possible as an employee.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could think of an example. I want to use the Vegas property, Stephanie. We got a bunch of investors and we bought this property in Las Vegas, and it's doing what it's supposed to do. It's returning the money. But Braden, I think you were there. We walked up on this piece of property, and there was this parking lot at the northern end of the property. And we thought, man, that looks big enough for like a coffee shop.
Yeah, there was literally a brand new coffee shop that was like 100 square feet built across the street from our office.
Yes.
I forget the name
Scooters.
of it. Okay. And I think somebody said, man, I think a Scooters will fit here. And what's there now, Joel?
Well, so yeah, 2 years later, we got a Dutch Brothers to sign a ground lease for this patch of parking lot. It's like a half an acre. And they agreed to pay us, $65,000 a year to lease that parking lot.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
We didn't build them a building.
What was the value of that parking lot?
Yeah, they plopped their building down on it. We're in contract to sell that for about $1.5 million.
Oh my God!
So there's a home run.
That's an example of a home run for the investors, not just me.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even in the business plan. It was an accident.
It's just in addition to the returns that we pitch the investors. Oh my gosh. And I say that just to say that there's examples of other people that started a business on the side, and one thing led to another, and pretty soon they're making money. And so I think you should spend a little bit of your time every day working on something that could pay off big.
Yeah.
Your day job, you spend time on your day job making the money, but most people, not everybody, they could spend they could work 80 hours a week at their day job, and they're never going to make $1 million, a bonus. Mm-hmm. There's of course rich, doctors or lawyers or whatever that can make that much. So, but I'm just talking about the average person.
Yeah.
And so I think people should take time to try to find a game that they work on the side that they could win in a big way.
Yeah. My next door neighbor, just, fun stories about side hustles. My next door neighbor is a woodworker and makes these like kind of rinky-dink essential oil holders. Not much. It's probably a $20 to $35 item on Etsy. And I talked to him the other day. I think he's doing like $8,000 a month.
Nice.
In $25 SKUs.
I hope he doesn't listen to this podcast. You just called his craft rinky-dinky, but...
Oh, yeah. Hopefully it doesn't.
Hey,
but anyway.
The 8,000 isn't rinky-dinky.
Yeah,
so.
That's for sure. But it's just this idea, right, that he's probably making more money on nights and weekends in his garage busting out some essential oil holders
than he is at the day job, maybe.
Yeah, and he's a trained professional. He works with his hands. He's a valuable guy. He's got a valuable profession that pays him well, I'm sure.
I think some people, they watch Shark Tank and they think, man, I can never come up with anything.
Yeah.
But I would bet most of the people that say that don't really set aside any amount of time thinking about it.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm. When they're watching the show, they may think about an invention. Like, I wish I could, think of something.
Yeah.
But, you have to be thinking about it, reading books that are giving you ideas and listening to things that are sparking ideas in you. That's how you're going to come up with the next big idea. Find out what other people are doing for their side hustle. What's working for them.
Yeah. Brian and I are working on a really cool development right now. We can't talk about it yet, but it's a development, which means it was literally in our heads a couple years ago, and that bitch should be built like this year. And I'm super excited about it.
It started as an idea,
Yeah.
and then we just took it from there, and then started looking for land and architects and builders, and you just start making a few phone calls, working a little bit on it, and now it's hopefully becoming a reality.
Yeah, and it's just like you were saying earlier, when you're looking at the possibility to have big wins, a lot of people work for people and help them get to those big wins. And the only reason they're getting there is because of them. You know what I mean? Like the big win is on their back. They didn't have the infrastructure in place to fully take advantage of it. They were kind of, the best employer, the best number 5 guy, which there's nothing wrong with that, at all. So those people have to exist. They have to be there. You can't do it without them. But at the same time, when you're just thinking about, you bought a real estate deal, out in Vegas, and then you accidentally stumbled across $1.5 million. Be in a profession where you can accidentally stumble upon 7 figures. is all I'm getting at. You know what I mean?
No, and I want to give a shout out to the Precision Equity employees. They're fantastic, and they help Precision Equity hit home runs. I helped my employer hit a few home runs when I moved to India and took over the office there, and the employees there were a big part of those home runs.
Well, we've probably all done that.
I want to make sure we're celebrating the employee.
Sure.
I want everybody to do a great job at their day job, but I also want them to take a few hours a day and focus on their business,
100%,
and them.
Yeah, and even before you give us money, like don't give us money unless you're investing in yourself. You know, you maybe own a home, or you know you've got something. You know, the investments you can make in yourself are going to pay you hundreds of % a year. You know, you start limited investing when you've got extra money that you don't need to put in yourself or your business. That's when you start giving other people money. So don't give us money yet. Just save up, you know, that first 5-10 grand and do that thing you've always wanted to do. You know what it is. You've been thinking about it every night. You know, you go to sleep, you've been wanting to start. You need that certification. You need that partner, like whatever. But commercial real estate is a good one because you can win and you can win big. And you can get in small. I mean,
with a day job, like
with a day job,
like I did, like you did.
Yeah.
So
like everyone did.
Well, good. I hope that came across okay.
Yeah. If you again want to see us flexing with our Lamborghinis, check us out on YouTube. I'm just kidding.
All right.
Anyway, we'll see you in a few days. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.